Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And today is September 20th, and I'm letting you know that because by the time you see this, it's going to be at least a week later. And so I just kind of want to give you an idea as a reference point when it comes to harvesting. We are in the biggest part of the harvesting time of the year, as most of you probably are as well. And I just went out this morning and picked this basket so far of apples. There's many more baskets to get. I just wanted to start with the low-hanging fruits. The nice thing about these apples is they can sit on the tree for a very long time without spoiling. I really don't know the variety of these. I was thinking they might be a Gravenstein because they're very similar to a Gravenstein, but I noticed these ones get ripe a lot later than the Gravensteins that we have on our deck in a small pot. It could be possible the difference between them being in a pot on the deck and being planted in the ground. I don't know, but the ones on the deck tree were ripe about a month ago and they're done. And so now we're just getting into the one that we've had established for years. So the reason I don't know is because this apple tree, it was young when we bought this place and moved in, and it hadn't started getting fruit yet, but it was already an established tree, and I don't know the variety. But they're great apples. They're really wonderful for making apple butters and pies and for dehydrating and doing just about anything with. If you wait until after the first frost, they will get sweeter, so I will definitely be leaving some out there, but I do like to get started in getting them preserved because one of my two favorite ways of preserving my apples is dehydrating like this and also in making apple butter. Those are my two favorite things, but I also last year got into making applesauce, in particular a berry applesauce, because that to me tastes so much better. So I would use our own raspberries, the blackberries that we picked, or even our blueberries. I have a video on how I make the berry applesauce. I'll go ahead and link to that right up here. And then I also have a video on how I make my apple butter. It's rare that I do my apple butter just the plain, cinnamon apple butter. I do that sometimes, but usually I like to mix it with other fruit as well, like I do with the applesauce. I'll go ahead and link to my apple butter video right up there. And then for a third video that I'm going to go ahead and mention here, I'm counting this so I remember how many to link to up here. I do have another one. I believe it was last year that I did it on the many uses for your apples, and I'll go ahead and link to that right here. But dried apples have quite a few uses just as is, and these ones, as you can see, are from 2015, and it's taken me a long time to work through them as it is. But the nice thing about it is because they're dehydrated, I could put so much more into a jar. It's still vacuum sealed even 3 years later, and they take up a lot less room than just canning them or freezing them like I used to do years ago. And I don't really prefer just canned apples. I don't know why, but I'll make the applesauce and can that, but the canned apples I didn't care for, at least not in this variety. That could be what it is. Now obviously I'll be making vinegar with some of these apples. And you can see here I have 3 different types of vinegars going. Well, they're all pretty much the same. And I did talk about this in a video I just shot a little bit ago. These are all floral vinegars. I have just a plain calendula that I did a video on. I have the rose and lavender and a calendula and rose. And I'm going to be talking more about this in the future as if I don't have enough vinegar videos out there. But I have my 5 ways to save series, and we're working on that, and I have a video I'll be doing soon on 5 ways to save on laundry. This series is going to be quite involved. I have so many different categories. But one of the things I've started doing is using just my vinegar for washing my clothes, and have been very happy with the results. They come out smelling very nice and clean as well, and just I think it seems like they smell even better than they did when I use my own homemade laundry powder, which I also have a video on that. I'm not going to link that up here because I know I'm going to run out of cards, but you can also do a search on my channel to see how I make my laundry powder. It's all natural. I will talk about all that more when I do my 5 ways to save on laundry video, which I'll be shooting very soon, so it shouldn't be too far out from this. Now, another thing I still have a lot coming in of is tomatillos. And I said in my last video where I talked about the tomatillos, that one I will go ahead and link to up here, about the different ways that you can use them up, is that I'm not getting as much as I thought. I didn't explain why, and that is because all the ones I planted out front, where the zucchini patch is, I did not expect my zucchini to take off the way it did, and what happened was it's just grown right over the top of my tomatillo plants, and I'm getting a few tomatillos on there, but most of them are just not getting mature enough, and because we still have a big slug issue out front, the slugs are eating them on top of that. For whatever reason, they've left my zucchini alone. They'll eat the flowers and parts of the other plant, but they've left the fruit of the zucchini alone, so still getting lots of that. But that's why I'm not getting as many tomatillos as I thought, but I'm fine with that because just the ones I planted out here are giving me more than what I need. So what I've started doing since that last video where I talked about the uses for tomatillos, I decided to go ahead and start canning up just the plain. Well, it's not totally plain because the reason they're this color is I did mix in a little bit of tomatoes from the garden. So just mixing these up like this and canning them for using in making sauces, specifically my Italian sauces and my Mexican sauces for using in my enchiladas and in making tamales, a tamale pie, and things like that, because I've been really happy with the results. So I still have to clean these up and write on them. I just canned these yesterday, so they're ready for me to clean up. And then the other things that we're just starting to harvest are the grapes. Now these ones I did end up picking a little bit too early because I tried some of them were very ripe, and so I thought, oh, these ones are ripe, so I harvested a bunch of those, and then we started eating them, and oh boy, they smell wonderful. And we've probably already eaten half of them, but I'm just letting them sit out and get ripe as they go, and just kind of eat on them as they ripen up, because they're still, a lot of them are still pretty tart. Now our grapes are not seedless, but I'm not shy about eating the seeds. I just eat them because there's a lot, I think seeds in fruit, I know it's kind of gross, but I think there's so many great health benefits in all the seeds of your fruits. Even the apple seeds and the peach kernels and the apricots, all these things have a lot of good stuff. We've been taught to be afraid of the natural cyanide that's in them, but it's such a small amount and it's in a natural form. I mentioned in my tincture making video, or my extract making video that I just did, and I'll link to that right up here. I'll be talking about that more in a bit. I'm going to be trying to use the fresh grapes this year to make some wine, and we'll see how that turns out. Now, because these grapes are very tart and very low in sugar, which most grapes are pretty low in sugar, you really, when you're making wine with grapes like this, you really have to add sugar to it to get a good strong wine, if that's what you're going to do. Now here is the pain tincture. It's not actually a tincture, it's an extract that I made in that video that I just linked to up there. And so if you're interested in how I did this, go ahead and go check that out. And right here I also have a couple other older tinctures. I have my antibiotic, my pain and inflammation. This one's actually a tincture. It's similar to this, a little bit different. And then my sleep and muscle relaxer tincture. And these are about the only ones we ever use, these two here. The antibiotic is very rare, but when we've had to use it, it has worked great. And I'll be doing a separate video on that down the road, so be watching for it. Oh, and one more thing about the apples. I had this sitting here so I wouldn't forget, and I still forgot. If you do not have a fruit picker, you need to get yourself one, because it really will make your life easier. All these I picked just from the ground. I'm only 5 foot tall, and having this, without having to use a ladder, I was able to get all of these apples, and it was pretty handy. And here's the really good deal. We got this 2 years ago at a garage sale for a whole $1, and boy, what a great investment that was. And it really wasn't much of an investment. So I love this thing. Every year when I go out to pick the apples, because the apple tree is the only one that's really producing, the one out there for us of all our fruit trees, that's also to the point where it's too tall to reach all the fruit just from the ground, like our plum tree. I can just pick them all right there. Okay, and then another thing I wanted to talk about was dehydrated cabbage, purple cabbage. This stuff is so good. Now, I've yet to add it to, you know, soups or anything like that yet, because I know that purple cabbage turns everything that you cook with, just like turmeric. Every time you add it to anything, it turns everything gold. Purple cabbage will turn everything purple, or red cabbage as it's also known. But because of that, it gave me a really good idea. Now, some of you may remember I made some beet powder, and for using for coloring, eventually I'm going to try it in my homemade pasta. I haven't done it yet. I keep meaning to. I haven't gotten to that yet. But I also made some powder out of the dehydrated cabbage, and this stuff, it just dehydrates up so beautifully. I think it tastes good just out of the jar like this. But I want you to see the difference in color. Beets here and the cabbage here. I also have a picture I'll go ahead and show. Now, the funny thing was, I posted a picture on Facebook and Instagram, I think it was, of me. I colored some water with this. I just took a little pinch, dropped it in the water, and it turned it like a deep lavender, kind of a bright purple. And it was really a beautiful color, and it did it instantly. And I took the picture. A lot of people, it took them a long time to figure out what it was. A lot of people immediately assumed it was the beet powder, but had it been the beet powder, it would have been more burgundy or pink, where this was definitely purple. So I was very thrilled. I had to give it a try because I wanted to see if this would be a really good organic, natural way to make some purple pasta, or even adding to some lip balm to give it a kind of a purple tint. I tried that too, and it worked really well. So purple cabbage, and you know what? I drank that water, and it actually tasted all right. It tasted pretty good. I didn't mind it one bit, and it was just a little pinch that went in there. So there's another fun way that you can make some natural food coloring. And I mean, because the purple cabbage, it really does have a great purple color to it. So I can hardly wait to have the time to make some more pasta and try the red cabbage powder in it to see how it turns out in the pastas. And I will be doing a video on that, but give me time. I know a lot of times I promise videos like the pocket in the skirt video. I keep meaning to do that, but the problem is I'm so busy, and once I get into my thing of making skirts, you know, I kind of have this rhythm down, and I get that first tier done, and then I get the second tier done with the pockets, and then I remember after I got them in there that, oh yeah, I was going to shoot a video. So I'm really sorry it's taken me so long. I will get to it eventually. I just cannot promise when. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but it will happen at some point. Well, I hope you enjoyed my latest this and that video, and that maybe you even learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.